Hey there, champions. Welcome back to another Read Aloud. We are reading Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing by Judy Blume, and we're on Chapter 5, The Birthday Bash, and this is Part 3. So hopefully this will be the last part of this chapter. We left off where Fudge was upset that he got a picture dictionary from his friend Sam. Sam is crying because he thinks Fudge doesn't like his gift. Grandma's trying to comfort Sam, and let's see what happens next. Peter, my mother said, let's start the games now, quick. I checked the time. I hoped the party was almost over, but no, it was only 1:30. Still an hour to go. I went into my room where I had blown up a lot of balloons. My mother had the party book, and it says 3-year-olds like to dance around with balloons. When I got back to the living room, Mom started the record player, and I handed each kid a balloon. But they just stood there looking at me. I thought, either the guy who wrote that party book is crazy, or I am. Show them how, Peter, my mother said. Take a balloon and demonstrate. I felt like one of the world's greatest living fools dancing around with a balloon, but it worked. As soon as the kids saw me doing it, they started dancing too. And the more they danced, the more they liked it. Until Jenny's balloon popped. That nearly scared Sam right out of his mind. He started yelling and crying. Fortunately, I had blown up 24 balloons. I was hoping they'd dance around for the rest of the afternoon. Fudge got the idea of jumping up and down on the furniture. The others liked that too. So instead of dancing with their balloons, that's what they did. And soon they were running from room to room, yelling and laughing and having a great time. Then the doorbell rang. It was Mrs. Rudder. She lives in the apartment right under us. She wanted to know what was going on. She said it sounded like her ceiling was about to crash in on her any second. My mother explained that Fudge was having her little birthday party. And wouldn't she like to stay for cake? For a piece of cake? Sometimes my mother is really clever. So Grandma entertained Mrs. Rudder in the kitchen while Fudge and his buddies jumped up and down on his new bed. It was delivered this morning. Fudge hasn't even slept in it yet. So naturally, when my mother found out what they were up to, she was mad. Stop it right now, she said. New bed, big boy, Fudge told her. Was he proud? You won't have a new big boy bed for long if you don't stop jumping on it, my mother told him. I know, let's all sit down on the floor and hear a nice story. My mother selected a picture book from Fudge's bookshelf. I heard that one, Jenny said when she saw the cover. All right, my mother told her. Let's hear this one. She held up another book. I heard that one too, Jenny said. I think my mother was starting to lose her patience when she chose a third book and said, we'll all enjoy this one even if we know it by heart. And if we do know it by heart, well, we can say it together. That's just what Jenny did. And when my mother skipped a page by mistake, Jenny was right there to remind her. If you ask me, my mother felt like biting Jenny by that time. When the story was over, it was 2:00, and Ralph was sound asleep on the floor. My mother told me to put him up on Fudge's new bed while she took the rest of the children back to the living room. I tried and tried, but I couldn't lift Ralph. He must weigh a ton, so I left him sleeping on Fudge's floor and closed the door so he wouldn't hear any noise. On my way back to the living room, I wished the others would fall asleep too. Peter, my mother suggested, why don't you show them Dribble? Mom, Dribble's my pet. You don't just go around using a pet to entertain a bunch of little kids. Didn't my mother know that? Please, Peter, my mother said. We've still got half an hour left, and I don't know what to do with them anymore. Dribble, Fudge hollered. Dribble, dribble, dribble. I guess Sam and Jenny liked the way that sounded because they started to shout too. Dribble, 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 even though they didn't even know what they were talking about. Oh, all right, I said. I'll show you Dribble, but you've got to promise to be very quiet. You mustn't make a sound. You might scare him, okay? They all said okay. And I guess we're going to have to do a part 4. It'll be a short part 4. But I'm going to stop there, and we'll see what happens at the end of this chapter next time. I hope you have a wonderful night. Sleep well, sweet dreams, and I will see you all next time. Good night.